Welcome, one and all. It is fantastic to be back at yet another Boostly event. If you've seen any of my previous Boostly trainings, you'll already know the deal. This is where hosts turn their Instagram into booking machines. For those that are new, I'm Paul Anderson. I'm a host, I'm a marketing consultant, and a strategist. I've been fortunate enough to help many in our community turn their social engagement into real bookings. So thank you, Mr. Simpson, and thank you, Boostly, for affording me the opportunity to give something back. And thank you all for tuning in. When Mark asked me to sponsor this autumn summit, I did not hesitate. Boostly has been a game changer for me, both as a host and as a marketer. And today, I'm excited to share my blueprint to turn your Instagram into actual profits. Then, and I have to be honest here, I thought, after 17 of these videos for Mark, what haven't I already said? And then it hit me. No matter where you are on your Instagram journey, the same mindset shift is essential for success. Likes aren't cash. So today, whether you're just getting started or fine-tuning your approach, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn those vanity metrics into bookings and real revenue. All right, let's get started. If you saw my presentation back at the March Summit, you'll know that it was all about actionable insights and case studies. Today, it's the same format, but on steroids. So get your pen and paper ready, or note down where you can catch the replay, because we're going to be diving in thick and fast. You do not want to miss a thing. Let's go. It's an ugly truth, but it is a truth. Likes aren't cash. It doesn't matter if you've got 100, 1,000, or 10,000 followers. If no one's booking, you're wasting your time. That's the real problem, and it's costing you money every single day. Too many business owners, especially in the hospitality and accommodation space, chase vanity metrics. You might be racking up likes, gaining followers, and increasing your reach on Instagram, but here's the problem. None of that pays the bills. Let me give you a real example. One of my students, Dina Harania, owns Amari Villa in Kefalonia. When she first came to me, her Instagram presence was enviable, solid follower numbers, strong engagement, and decent reach. On the surface, it seemed like everything was going great. But despite all of that, there was zero return on investment. No additional bookings and no extra revenue. And that's the issue we're going to fix today. So why is this issue so serious? Because when you're chasing down likes and followers without a clear strategy, you're bleeding time, money, and energy. You're grinding, putting in the hours, maybe even burning yourself out, but you're seeing zero results where it really counts, bookings and revenue. Here's the thing, I get it, I'm a host too, I've been there, I've chased those vanity metrics, I've celebrated the likes and followers, only to realize that none of that pays the bills. That struggle, my own frustrations from a few years back, is what pushed me to figure out what actually works. When Dina came to me, she was just like you, plenty of followers but no bookings. She'd hired a social media manager, burned money, but still nothing. She was frustrated. And here's the thing. When we switched her strategy, she went from zero to £15,000 in bookings tracked from Instagram in just 3 months. Same Instagram, different result. Without a real strategy, you're stuck chasing fleeting trends and cheap hacks. Sure, you might get a quick spike in likes or engagement, but once that trend dies, so does your traffic. And you're left asking yourself, why isn't this working? Okay, so you know the problem now, but how do we solve it? Let me show you. Dina's story proves that this isn't just theory. Dina's journey goes from frustration to real results. It's about understanding Instagram, not as a social media platform, but as a top-of-funnel advertising space. Dina's transformation began with a mindset shift. Here's the secret I shared with her. Instagram is not a social media platform. It's an advertising agency. Meta, who own Instagram, Facebook, and WhatsApp, is making billions of ads, and we are just one piece of that pie. By understanding the game that Meta plays, you can turn Instagram into your own booking-generating machine. Dina cracked the code with a strategy that we built together. No more random posts, just laser-targeted content, and we let the algorithms do the rest. Let me break it down for you. Last year, Meta made around $150 billion, and 98% of that came from advertising. Their entire business model revolves around one thing, keeping users on the platform for as long as possible so they can show them more ads and make more money. It then follows that the algorithm's only job is to show your content to the people most likely to engage with it. If your content gets them to engage, great, you'll reach more people. If not, your post gets buried. The better you tailor your posts, the more people will see them and the longer they will stay engaged. And that's how you win. So how do Instagram's algorithms figure out who's likely to engage, to whom to serve up this content? They track everything. What posts users linger on, comment on, share, and the accounts they interact with the most, personal details, location data, content preferences, device information, information from advertisers, and even other companies about user activity, even off the platform. The best statistic I could find on this is sadly 6 years old from 2018, but it still packs a punch. In 2018, an estimated 52,000, I'll say that again, 52,000 data points were collected on each and every user. Throw in the advent of AI and the nuanced data that the algorithms can now infer is, to some, the stuff of dystopian nightmares. They use this data to predict who will find your content valuable and pushes your post to those people. So the more your content matches their interests and their past behavior, the more likely they are to engage. That's exactly what the algorithms are looking for. Engagement keeps users on the platform for longer, which means more ads and ultimately more money for Meta. So this is where I introduced the concept of the ideal guest persona into Dina's story. We didn't just target any traveler, we targeted her ideal guest, down to the smallest details, specific demographics, interests, needs, all sorts. That ideal persona became the cornerstone of her entire strategy. Every move we made was about targeting that person. If we ever had a doubt about what to post or how to position something, we'd ask, who's the ideal guest? And what do they need from Dina's content? Once we knew exactly who we were speaking to, we could then tailor every piece of content directly to that person. And here's the key. Dina's strategy wasn't about posting a lot. Dina's been posting just 3 times a week, but every post is laser targeted. As a result, Instagram's algorithms took notice of where the engagement was coming from and began pushing her content to more users who matched her ideal guest profile. It's quality content that speaks directly to the right audience and drives results, not volume. And guess what? After just 3 months of implementing the strategy that followed, Dina didn't just see a small uptick. She pulled in a solid £15,000 in bookings, all tracked from Instagram. This wasn't tactics. This wasn't because of a trend or chasing the hack of the day. It wasn't magic. It was strategy. After defining Dina's ideal guest persona, we moved on to my elevator pitch exercise, the foundation of her messaging. Its goal? To clarify the key value propositions for her villa and ensure her message hit home with her ideal guest. Here's how it worked. We imagine Dina in an elevator with her ideal guest and their friend. She overhears them talking about visiting Kefalonia, but not knowing where to stay. Dina would now have 30 seconds and just 3 points to make to convince them to book. This exercise really is a game changer, so be sure to jot this next bit down. I then asked Dina, what 3 things would you say to convince your ideal guest to book with you? Not 5, not 6, just 3. After some back and forth, we locked in these essential points. Number 1, proximity to beach. Amari Villa is just minutes away from some of Kefalonia's best beaches. Number 2, capacity. The villa has 5 bedrooms, hosting up to 9 guests. Perfect for families or group getaways. And number 3, there is a fully gated private pool, ideal for family relaxation and safety. These 3 points became the foundations for what came next. They shaped her bio and her pinned posts to keep her messaging clear and focused as we move forwards. Once the elevator pitch was crafted, the next step in Dina's journey was to optimize her Instagram profile. Why? Because we only have between 3 and 8 seconds to grab a viewer's attention, which makes the first impression crucial. Before jumping into the content creation, we therefore had to ensure her profile would convert visitors into followers and ultimately into paying guests. We updated her profile picture to a logo using her brand's colors and fonts. Then we made sure every post followed the same branding, and you can literally see, you can feel the change. Her feed transformed from a mix of random visuals to a sleek, cohesive brand experience. This is critical because the surest path from post to profit is post to profile through the link in the bio and onto a booking page or a listing. Then you make the sale with a kick-ass website. Brand cohesion makes this transition seamless. So when our ideal guest hits the booking page, they only have 3 questions. Are there vacancies when I want to travel? Can I afford it? And where is that book now button? Consistency made her brand instantly recognizable, a subtle yet key element to successfully turning lookers into bookers. We then upgraded her name field to Amari Villa, Kefalonia, Greece. This tweak made her profile easier to find in searches and gave visitors a clear idea of what she offered. We rewrote Dina's bio to focus on the key selling points, would you believe, from her elevator pitch. The bio now reads, boutique luxury 5-bed villa with pool and sea views, perfect for families, sleeps 9, and romantic escapes. Click below and start planning your stay. This bio clearly communicates the value of her villa to her ideal guests, making it easy for those potential guests to quickly understand why her property was a perfect choice for their vacation. Last but not least, we streamlined her highlights. We removed unnecessary highlights. She had a world of them out there, and we simplified them to focus on the most important information for her ideal guest. We give her ideal guest decision-making information. We boiled it down to guest reviews, so Dina showcases positive feedback from previous guests to build trust, and a couple of FAQ-style highlights to answer key guest questions directly. Dina's elevator pitch didn't just stop there. I told you it was awesome. We used the 3 points to create 3 pinned posts designed to instantly capture attention. These posts are the first things that any visitor to Dina's profile will see, so they had to stand out and had to highlight the villa's most important selling points. These posts reflected the exact points we had identified in her elevator pitch, ensuring that the most important information was front and center. This makes it easy for Dina's ideal guest to immediately see why Amari Villa is the perfect choice to satisfy their vacation needs. So, with Dina's profile and pinned post sorted, the next step was to move towards content creation. So we crafted content pillars, the supporting structures of any strategic content. These pillars aren't unique to Dina. They can apply to any short-term accommodation business, so you may want to have your pencils and paper to hand again here. What is the goal of having content pillars? The goal of content pillars is for each and every post to give value and speak directly to the ideal guest. Content pillars are simple, really. They're buckets of topics to keep your content structured, consistent, and valuable, always targeting what your ideal guest needs to know. Here are the 5 key content pillars I recommend. Service in space. What is it you sell and where? What will make your property stand out to your ideal guest, and what services do you offer that your ideal guest will always appreciate? Number 2, nourishment. People need nourishment all the time. Whether it's restaurant recommendations, dining options, or kitchen facilities, guests want to know their options. Number 3, local activities. What will your ideal guest enjoy doing in your local area or even on your property during their stay? Number 4, reviews and testimonials. Building trust with social proof is incredibly powerful. Sharing reviews from real guests boosts credibility and reassures potential guests that they're making the right choice. And finally, of course, book direct. Teach your audience why booking direct saves them money and gives them a better experience. With these pillars in place, we then filled each of them with content ideas, all aligned with Dina's property, Amari Villa, and her ideal guest persona. We brainstormed ideas for posts and then listed them under the appropriate pillar or pillars, subtopics, if you will. Yep, it really is that simple. 5 pillars, brainstorm ideas, and then slot them in. By organizing her content in this way, Dina eliminated the guesswork. Every post has a purpose. Every post speaks directly to her ideal guest. The result, consistent engagement, more bookings, and less time wasted scrambling for ideas to post ad hoc. We're making massive progress, so please stay with me, because once the content pillars and the topics were in place, Dina and I could finally build a content calendar. No more guessing, no more scrambling for ideas. This calendar makes sure that her posts are consistent, relevant, always on target, and could be created well ahead of being published. The template I use with clients flips the traditional content creation process right on its head. Instead of starting with an image and then figuring out what to say about it, we reversed it. Like a magazine editor, we started with a message first, and here's why. The value is in the message. The image and the hook just support it. Think about it. Magazines don't create articles around pictures. They write or source value-driven content in the form of articles, and then they add the images and headlines to hook the reader in. The article is the core. The headline and the image are just tools to grab attention. So how do we apply this to Dina's content creation process? We schedule posts by rotating through the 5 pillars. With the system we were building, Dina decided that she could create 3 posts per week, and we plugged each pillar into the calendar using that rhythm. She had a clear structure every time she sat down to create. Every post creation begins with a clear message based on one of the subtopics listed in the content pillars. The message had to speak directly to her ideal guest needs. Value first, always. After the message is clear, we then craft the hook. This first line is designed to stop the scroll and grab more attention. And finally, and only once we finish the writing, we select or create an image to enhance the message, not to drive it. The image simply supports the value that we deliver. By flipping the process and focusing on the message first, Dina's post became far more impactful. If you're watching this on the replay, you're going to want to rewind and hear this again. Flip the process. Start with the caption, then find a scroll-stopping image that supports what you've written, add a hook at the front and a call to action at the end, and you're done. For Dina, every post then fit nicely into the larger strategy of speaking directly to her ideal guest. No more random posts, no more guesswork. Just consistent, value-driven content that engages her audience and is leading to more bookings. But that's not all. With a content calendar set up, we then introduced batch creation to streamline the production of multiple posts at once. This not only made Dina's content creation more efficient, but it also focused Dina's mind on one pillar or one topic at a time, eliminating distractions and any need to multitask. Here's how Dina does it. When it's time for Dina to create content, she zeroes in on just one pillar. This allows her to maintain focus and produce multiple posts without bouncing between topics. For example, she might choose the service and space pillar and create 6 posts highlighting the villa's unique features. So Dina would start by writing the value-driven message for several posts within that pillar. For instance, she would draft 6 posts about the villa's amenities, space, breathtaking views, all in one go, keeping her focused on just writing and on just one pillar. After the content is written, Dina will then part the post and maybe go and do something else altogether. And when she returns, Dina will sit down, shift her focus entirely to designing graphics or sourcing images. No more bouncing between 25 tabs or multiple software tools at once. The process is streamlined. Just writing, then just visuals, all with her mind on just one pillar, one subject, nothing else. Once the text for the caption and the visuals are finalized, Dina then adds an attention-grabbing hook and a clear call to action to each one of these draft posts. This batch creation process streamlines everything. It's not just about efficiency, it's about freeing up time to work on what really matters, growing your business. With 3 posts per week to publish, Dina can produce a week's or even a month's worth of content in just 1 or 2 focus sessions. This has freed up more time for her to work on the rest of her business, whilst ensuring her Instagram remains consistent, always engages her ideal guest persona, without the chaos of scrambling for ideas or multitasking. It gets better still. How would Dina know that she was hitting her mark? How could she improve the process, the results, or even both? Would you believe I had ready-made answers to those questions? Alongside each row of her content creation calendar was a system to track the performance of each post next to the draft of that very post. So Dina tracks key metrics 24 hours after each post is published. Things like reach, likes, comments, shares, saves, profile visits, follows. So over time, Dina could then sort these posts using these performance metrics, i.e., she could establish which posts in a given time frame drove the most people to her profile, which posts reached the most people. This allows us to see which posts resonates most with her ideal guest for a variety of metrics, depending on what Dina wants to achieve further down the line. So once sorted, Dina focuses on the top 50 or 60% of high-performing posts. These are then recycled, repurposed, or even just reused. Finally, Dina can keep her feed effective without constantly churning out brand new content. The added benefit is that if a post didn't perform well, Dina had two choices. She could analyze why it didn't do very well. If the message didn't quite land, or the hook, for example, wasn't engaging enough, we use that data to tweak and improve it for future content. Or, if a post wasn't worth salvaging and it got absolute crickets, it gets dropped. This saves Dina a massive amount of time and energy wasted on content that won't drive results. The system allows Dina to double down on what works and cut out what doesn't, making her content sharper, more targeted, and far more likely to convert. Recording performance data doesn't just improve Dina's content strategy, it also gives her the freedom to experiment with a solid foundation of what she knows to be high-performing content. She now has the space and confidence to try out those new trends, adapt to algorithm changes, and test new ideas without risk. By working on all this with Dina for just 5 hours, together we transformed her strategy into £15,000 direct bookings from Instagram in just a few months. And that's just the beginning. With this continually improving system, her potential for return on investment will only improve. The power of this process is that it gives her freedom to experiment, knowing that her core strategy is solid. And that's Dina's story so far. By defining her ideal guest in granular detail, we could then optimize her profile, refine the messaging with my elevator pitch exercise, and establish precisely what that ideal guest wanted or needed to know to decide to book with her. Organizing this information into 5 content pillars then allowed Dina to create a sustainable schedule of content ideas and plug them into a content calendar, knowing that this would keep her message on point and her feed dynamic and varied. We flipped her creative workflow on its head and then increased her efficiency by introducing batch creation so that she saved heaps of time whilst knowing her posts were instantly more engaging and would drive traffic to her optimized profile through the link in bio and onto her booking page. As Dina continues to use the data she records to refine, test, and adapt her content, I'm super excited to see where this story goes and just how much more she can build on this foundation. To go from 0 bookings and no inquiries to landing £15,000 of tracked bookings from Instagram in just 3 months is quite something. Personally, I think she's only really just getting started. So you've seen the impact a well-executed strategy can have. If you're ready to turn your Instagram into a booking machine, I'm excited to introduce the Likes Aren't Cash Winter Sprint, starting this November. This is a 6-week, high-touch experience where I will work directly with just 7 hosts. Why only 7? Well, besides this enabling me to give you the focused attention you need to transform your Instagram into a booking engine, 7 also happens to be my lucky number, though it does have a little bit of magic to it after all. Over these 6 weeks, here's what you'll get. 2 one-on-one coaching sessions and weekly training modules to build your bespoke strategy with lifetime access to all these materials and those created in all the future sprints. Weekly small group Zoom calls to overcome challenges and maintain momentum. If you miss one, no harm done. These will all be recorded and available to review forever. Lifetime access to my signature Instabook program so that you can continue to refine your approach long after the sprint and maintain access to community-led support. Direct WhatsApp support. Any questions, any challenges or wins, I'll be just a message away. And there's the exclusive micro Facebook group, access to a private group just for the sprinters, fostering deeper engagement, real-time feedback, and sharing strategies with like-minded hosts on the same journey as you. Here's the structure we'll use to follow Dina's proven path to success. Weeks 1 and 2, after our first one-on-one session, we'll define your ideal guest, optimize your profile, and set up metrics to measure your return on investment. Weeks 3 and 4, we'll create laser-targeted pinned posts, establish your content pillars, and learn the secrets to crafting compelling posts that speak directly to your ideal guest. In weeks 5 and 6, we'll dive straight into structuring your content calendar, batch creation, and then analyze performance metrics to drive continuous improvement. We'll wrap up before Christmas with a second private one-on-one session to lock in your long-term strategy, ensuring that you're ready to scale your results. Just imagine by the end of these 6 weeks, your Instagram will be fully optimized and ready to deliver bookings without the guesswork. Just in time for the holidays, you will have a strategy that keeps working for you long after the sprint ends. So if you're looking for results like Dina's, this is your chance. There are only 7 spots and they will fill quickly. I'm closing access by Sunday the 29th of September or as soon as the last spot is taken. The investment is £1,997 or $24.97 US, so that just 2 bookings will likely cover the entire cost. After that, it's all pure profit. Dina made £15,000 with just 3 posts a week using this strategy. You don't need to post every day, you just need the right plan. To join this winter cohort, go to thesocialmediahotelier.com/LAC for likes aren't cash, or scan this QR code. I'll personally reach out to welcome you in, and we'll get your first one-on-one session scheduled. In just 6 weeks, you'll go from shooting in the dark to shooting fish in a barrel. You'll know exactly what to post, when to post, and how to turn Instagram lookers into real-world bookers. This sprint is designed to deliver results and fast. Here's the deal. You need an Instagram account, you must have posted something at some point, and you'll need to show up and do the work. If you're serious about turning your Instagram into a reliable booking machine, this is the time to act. This isn't about learning tactics. You'll be building a content strategy that will work on autopilot long after the sprint ends. There are only 7 spots, so don't wait until next year when the price goes up and you'll have missed out on months of extra bookings. Stop wasting time chasing likes that won't pay your bills. Stop second-guessing what to post and start turning your Instagram into a machine that generates bookings and improves with every post. This is your chance to make the shift. You've seen how it's done. This system works if you work it. There are only 7 spots, and this is where the serious players step up to turn their Instagram into a booking machine. Thank you for listening, and thank you for giving me your valuable time. I would be so stoked to lead you through this sprint and build a bespoke booking machine that serves you long after we have crossed the finish line. I've been Paul, the Social Media Hotelier. I'll catch you next time. Peace.